All right, so welcome everyone to our Lunch and Learn. It is October 4th, and we're going to have a great conversation. I am hosting today in place of Sharon and Doug. They are on an NMD call, getting all the good information that we need. So I'm more than happy to host. We're going to be talking about trade shows today. And so I was just asking if anyone's had one this year. I know Gwen said she did one in August. We actually did a trade show. We've done a couple, actually. We had one for a networking event we did a few weeks ago. And then we also did one in July. Like, we've been doing them. It's slowly starting to pick back up. I know I used to have a trade show at least once every 2 months, if not more frequently before the pandemic. But I feel like people are getting excited about having these events again. I was actually asked to do one while conference was happening at a church. They're having a health fair. And so I won't be here to do it, but hopefully someone on my team will be able to cover that, because that person is like a huge advocate for Juice Plus. So, okay, so any questions, first of all, that you have about doing trade shows? Any questions or anything that makes you nervous about doing it that I can answer off the cuff? And then I'm going to talk about how you can get them done and not make it overwhelming. You can make it really simple.
Michelle, what about banners and things that you would put up at a booth or something to promote Juice Plus? Do you guys have anything like that? I mean, where I come from, they had like table skirts, and there were banners that would draw people over to your booth or table. I haven't seen any of that stuff. Is that something that Juice Plus has?
Yes. So Juice Plus Promotions has all kind of banners and displays that you can have for your table. They have stand-up, pop-up, like poster things that you can put next to your table. So there, if you check out Juice Plus Promotions, you'll see there's a lot of things that you can use to draw attention to your booth. I have a banner that I was gifted when I got to a promotion level, and I share that banner with my team, with Sidelines. We have used it over the years. Let me see if I can pull up a picture real quick, because we used it at our most recent event. Oh, Facebook's down. I can't go to Facebook.
So I want to jump in, because I'm going to just say that if you're new, that wouldn't be where I would spend my money, because they are not inexpensive. Like the big stand-up A-frame banner thing is like $200. Yeah. It's almost like a table, what do you call those things? Not a skirt, but like you have to use a tablecloth, and then it kind of just takes over half of the table in the middle, and it has a picture of all the fruits and vegetables. I'm going to tell you my opinion. It looks pretty. People aren't coming to my booth because they see that. Do you know what I mean? Like, people aren't going, oh my gosh, Juice Plus. Majority of people, 98% of people have no idea what Juice Plus is. And quite honestly, I just use a fruit and vegetable tablecloth. And if I would put my money into something, I'd put it into a tower garden, because that's going to attract more attention than just a Juice Plus banner or a tablecloth or something like that. I think what you have on, and then gummies, people love free stuff. So if you have shakes, the gummies there, that's what attracts it. If you want to buy the banner and buy all the stuff, great. Yeah. That's not where I would put the money.
So I'm going to have Alicia screen share the banner that we use for our events. I don't know if Juice Plus still has this banner.
And in other cases, if you were to just put it on this, just a nice simple top side, you don't need that there. Instead of a glass, you do a fruit and vegetable table.
If Alicia's talking, I can't hear her.
Oh, they can't hear you.
Go ahead. We're next to each other, so want to make sure that we're not echoing. But like Karen was saying, if you don't get that banner, you don't need it, to Karen's point, but you get a fruit and vegetable or a colorful type table throw, just with your product on top and then a nice tower garden next to it, that is going to attract a lot of people to your table. Not the top part, but just even your simple boxes with your things that you get items shipped in. Just keep those boxes for you to use for displays, and that will make a really nice table set up for a trade show.
Yeah, for years, I never had that banner. And what I did was I always had a bright tablecloth. It was usually like green or orange or white or red, like a bright color. And then the boxes displayed on the top. Now, mind you, the day that we had this event that Alicia has up here, it was super windy. So our boxes aren't really stacked like we would, but I felt like the boxes attract people to colors. Now having like a fruit basket, like something in a fruit bowl, like tangerines, usually attracts children over to say, oh, I want a tangerine or some kind of fruit. They see that and it's like attractive to them. So don't feel like you need a banner and all that stuff. Like I've never had the big one that stands up behind me. I'm not doing that. But the tower garden, like Karen hit it on the head with that. Having, even if you bring the empty tower garden, which is what we did to the last event, this one you saw there were some things growing, but the last event we did was totally empty, no water, no nothing. And that alone was like, oh, wow, this is so cool. Cause they could see like the dimensions, how high, how tall it was. And then we could show them pictures of it on our phone of what it looks like when it's growing actual produce. So like I said, I don't like to overcomplicate things. I'm definitely not the OCD one. I just throw things together, but it works out well. What I do say are the must-haves is having the placemats that show what is in Juice Plus, like every fruit and veggie that's in there. Like that always attracts attention because people are like, well, what is it? And then I don't have to go through a long speech. I can say, oh, all the things that you see here is in Juice Plus, and it's like a placemat you have on your table. And then having the bottles and the bags so they can look at the ingredient list and see that it says a nutrition label versus a supplement label. So all those things that they may have questions with. And then the shake, I even like to have the shakes out there so they can see, you know, kind of how many sugars is in there, whatever questions they have, we can talk to that with them. So making it more conversational. So that was a really good question though. Oh, it says iPhone. What?
It's Renee, sorry.
Renee.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a really good question, Renee.
Right. And you mentioned placemats. Are those things that we can just print off of
That's
offline?
also on Juice Plus promotions.
Okay.
You can order, it's like $4 maybe for one of those.
No, they've gotten more expensive, but your head's going to explode when you go to conference and you go to Juice Plus promotions. I remember the first time I went there, I think I spent like $400 or $500, but they used to have more little tchotchke stuff, but they'll have that stuff there. And they sometimes close to conference or depending on what you want, actually it could be right now. Sometimes they'll just do free shipping. It's like order $75 and they'll do free shipping. Quite honestly, if you're not checking in your luggage to carry some of that stuff home, it's easier just to go online, order some of that stuff now and have it shipped and don't worry about conference. So.
Yep. Very true. So check out Juice Plus promotions. Is it still called Juice Plus promotions? Karen? It is. Yeah, because they have a lot of little things on there, but I would really recommend if you're new to talk to your upline about what you really need, because you might think, oh, I should get this, this, and that, and you don't really need it. You might not ever use it. The most common thing, like I never have a display table without my placemat, honestly. If I could leave my banner home, I could care less about the banner, but I definitely have that placemat because it helps me to explain what Juice Plus is so much easier than having.
I think that's a great idea.
Well, and the placemat is also, I can go get mine and bring it over. The placemat is also something that when you get a new partner that has like Noelle, where she's got a massage, you know what I mean? Like you could get a doctor, you have somebody that has like any kind of clientele, that's what they actually can display. Oh, there you go. That's what they actually can display in their office as well.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's the banner that Karen was talking about is $200 and something. That would be a stand-up banner. So that's not necessary, but it looks good. I mean, like a doctor's office, that would look amazing, right? To have that in there.
It is.
Yeah, juicepluspromotions.com. If you go to promotion item, oh, okay, she's in here. So we can see some of the things they have here. I wonder if it's under literature.
Can you do a search?
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh, hold on, but I think she's here.
It might be
Hold on.
under
Let her-
marketing. It
Let her
might
scroll down.
marketing materials.
Oh, yeah. Was there a tab for that?
I thought they're used.
Oh, that we are in marketing materials. No?
Let me see.
Placemat, because that's what it usually calls it. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Results. Yeah.
No.
Hey guys, while you're looking for that, I
Yeah.
noticed that Gwen posted in the comments, I think that that they used to do like a fruit and veggie display. And let me see if I can.
Yeah, I've done that in the past too. That used to be part of a presentation that we would do, but bringing
There you
like,
go.
I love that. We set up the sugar display, how much sugar is in the sodas,
Yeah.
different drinks. Yeah, that. And see, Gwen, when they do that big event, they have 2 tables. I can imagine you being able to do that.
So
So much
Michelle,
easier.
I am wondering, we're pretty close to conference, how, so I know a few months ago, they had those on sale. So I wonder if they just got rid of what they had and they're gonna have at Juice Plus conference some new ones. You know how they just stop selling stuff?
Yeah, because that's usually a very popular item, and for it not to be on here is they might be updating it too.
Yeah, they might be updating because I'm scrolling through my phone too. And usually, that's one of the
Okay.
main things. So.
Okay, you can stop share.
So
'cause-
even taking these that we get from the business to the, so people can read them.
Yes, definitely. You want some of these promotional items for people that you're having really good conversations with. So one thing I will say, I keep my brochures behind something. And if I'm having a good conversation, that person is leaving their information because they want more information, then I may give them a brochure. Now, I'm not just going to be talking to someone who's walking by and barely wants to look at my table and give them a brochure. No, because brochures cost money. And the brochures that our company makes are really nice. Like, they're on great paper, great information. They look beautiful. I'm not wasting it on someone who's going to throw it in the trash in 2 minutes. So I would say save those brochures for someone you're having a good conversation with. I honestly haven't given someone a brochure in a few years because we connect and I say I'm sending them videos and I send them everything electronically now. So 10 years ago, brochures were the thing, but today I barely use them, but I still have them just in case. You never know. So well, I'm gonna show them that I'm about to share my screen. Michelle, I sent you some pics. Oh, where did you send it? Messenger, Janie? Where's Janie? I use brochures just in my thank you packet that I send to new customers and new teammates. That's so good, Jennifer.
So Jennifer, that's what I do. I send thank you packages for all my new customers, and I'll send them the brochure of what they purchased, which is usually capsules, but then I also will send them the other products. Like that's when I send a brochure of the Tower Garden and some of the shakes. And I usually will send a shake sample as well.
Michelle, I texted those
Same thing.
pictures to you. I wasn't sure which one you were looking for, so I have
Do
two
you
different
mean Messenger?
placemats. No,
Oh,
text.
girl.
Text.
But
Why do you want me
okay.
to send it some
if it
other
was
way?
Messenger, I could pull it up on here from my phone.
Oh, I can send it to Messenger
I can
then.
always
I'll do
get
that.
my-
And so
thought-
which placemat do you want? Because I've got the one that says plant power with the trio and the shakes pictured.
You
and then
can
I've
send
got the
both, so
other
they
one.
could. You can send me
Okay.
both. I have both
Okay.
of them. I use
Okay.
It depends on which one I decide to use for
Yeah,
depending on the event.
okay. All right, I'll send them to Messenger then. No problem.
Oh, but Facebook was down, so hopefully it is working now. I'm not sure. Let me see if I can actually go live on Facebook right now. It wasn't doing. Nope, I can't. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen and show you where on the Freedom Revolution you can get a lot of info on how to host your own trade show. when I do this. I thought I was in the screen, but I've been playing around in here. Hold on, stop share. Sorry, guys, I'm a complete mess today because I've been messing around trying to get into Facebook. I left the screen. I wanted to show
So
you.
you work on that. So this is an example of the tablecloth that I bought, and I think I got it from Publix years ago for like $5. And it kind of does attract, some people think it's a little busy, but I don't know, it attracts. Are you trying to show the mat or something? Is that
No, I'm going to the Freedom Revolution where you can find a lot of, oh, did you just share?
There's the mat.
This
there's
is a
the
mess.
placemat.
Okay, this is a placemat. Janie just sent this to me, and so Alicia's sharing it from her computer. This is my favorite one right here because it shows the omegas too. They just added, this is like the most recent. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen and go to vendor booth guide, which is on the Freedom Revolution. So you can find this under, I hate how Zoom covers where you are on the internet, but you can find this under trainings, and then I'll tell you after. I can't see where I'm at right now. But this is, it gives you all the things that you should bring. And I highly recommend that you do not spend, I don't even like to spend more than $50 on a booth, honestly, because it depends on how many people are attending. A key question I love to ask is when I'm invited to do a vendor booth is how many people do you expect to be at this event? So if it's like a church event, you know, it's pretty much their congregation, or if it's a city event, I always ask that question, because if I'm paying more than $50 or $100 for this event, I want to know that there's like probably 1,000 or more people coming. That's what I want to know, because that just makes the statistics and the odds more in your favor for people that you're going to meet that will be interested. Now, out of 1,000, you'll probably get like, you know, a good 30 to 40 that might come by that are interested, but then out of the 30 to 40, those that are really interested, maybe like less than 10, but at least that the numbers are better. So consider the cost. And if you're new, before signing up for a vendor table, I would say talk to your upline and see if it's a good idea to invest in whatever they're suggesting is the price for that event, because not every event is created equal or worth the price for it, right? So I love the tips they give here on things to bring. A lot of times we have to bring our own tables, our own tents if it's outside, tablecloth, all the things that promote Juice Plus, your own banner if you have one. Now just remember, that's optional. You don't really need the banner. I did trade shows for years without a banner, and I still had as many conversations as I do with the banner. Because a lot of times people are looking at your face and looking at the table and probably not looking below that, but there's times where they do see it. So, you know, it can't hurt to have a banner. And then showing how things are displayed. I love having a huge bowl of actual fruits or vegetables that are in Juice Plus. I know one time me and Sharon, well, several times, we did an event and we had every single fruit and vegetable that was in Juice Plus on the table in little plastic cups, those little plastic wine cups. That was kind of expensive, guys, because purchasing all those fruits and vegetables was not cheap. And back then we didn't even have 30. Back then we had like 23 fruits and vegetables, and it added up. But it did make an impact on people to see, wow, all of that is in those things, you know, it made an impact. So if I was doing like a huge event, like for a city, and it was over 1,000 people, I might invest in doing something like that, because it is kind of a showstopper. But if it's a smaller event, I wouldn't take that time and invest in that as much. That's just me. I'm always like,
I think if you are doing a lot, because how I kicked off growing my customer base was a green market. It was every Sunday. So those are hard to commit to unless you want to do every week, unless you have team members that maybe each of you take a week. But what I did, because I did just that, and it is expensive to buy them, is I bought plastic. So I bought a little thing of plastic, you know, cherries and the plastic cabbage and the plastic broccoli. So it just was reused over and over and over again. And I think I paid $50 for everything, but I would have paid that over and over again, you know, if I had to buy it fresh.
That's smart. That's definitely a good idea.
The people come up and try and eat the plastic, you know, so.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Listen, all kind of things happen at trade shows. So we have had the old McDonald's Happy Meal sitting on there that was years old, and people have come and stolen fries out of there. Like one of my team members had hers on display. It must have been at least 4 or 5 years old, and it disappeared during the trade show. I think people thought it was a real Happy Meal that was like brand new. So it's pretty interesting what can happen at a trade show. Okay, make sure you have, well, brochures and business cards. But like I said, I don't even give out business cards or brochures that much anymore because I connect with people instantly. Like I always say, hey, are you on social media? Let's connect. That way I can keep up with you. And then I do have them leaving their information, which below this, you're gonna see an example of a way to get people's information. See right here, you can print these off. This is really cute. I was purchasing some from someone who was making some really pretty ones too. But you can print those out and have people fill out the information. That's like the most important part, because if you're not getting the information to follow up, you're really there for no reason. No one's going to follow up with you. No matter how much they love Juice Plus, they are not going to follow up with you. They're going to think the information is phenomenal. They're going to want a tower garden, but they're not going to call you back. You have to be the one that follows up. And so they always say the fortune is in the follow-up, right? Okay, and then the gummies are huge to attract people to the table. If I don't have gummies at an event, I could just like hit myself over the head. I think there's been one time where I forgot the gummies with everything else I brought, and I'm like, oh my goodness. But people love to try the gummies, and their kids are attracted to come and try the gummies. So it's really a great way to get them to the table, start the conversation, and for them to actually taste something, you know, to actually have that they get an emotional response to tasting the gummies. Okay, so there's some important tips. I love having a 5-day supply. So Juice Plus Promotions also has little capsule holders where you can put a 5-day supply. Like I put one of each, like one fruit, one vegetable in each capsule in each day. And then if they order right then and there, you can say, hey, I can give you this 5-day supply to last until your supply comes in. And a lot of times just that alone will get them to say, okay, I do want to get it right now. So I usually make smoothies, but since the pandemic, we haven't been doing that, but usually having smoothies, one with chocolate, one with vanilla for people to sample, texting videos on the spot, taking notes. Oh yeah. If you're going to an event that has a lot of people, take notes as much as you feel like you're going to remember things about each person. A lot of times you won't. I used to, but not anymore. My brain is in overload. So I take a little note like mom with a daughter that's 4, you know, I always have something that stood out to me about that person on the back of my contact information. And then follow up with a phone call within 24 to 48 hours. So if they're not answering the phone, you can email, because they usually leave their email address, or even text. I feel like people respond more nowadays to text, but trying them on the phone is always best first. If they don't respond, then follow up with a text. And so I love they gave you some verbiage ideas here. There's a couple of people with tables. You see she has the fruit bowl to attract people to the table. She doesn't have a banner. But Juice Plus, I feel like our boxes alone attract people to this table, to our table. Like over the years of doing events, I've always watched how people circulate around the room. I've done corporate trade shows. I've done trade shows at churches, all kinds of things. And I will say our tables are usually the most visited. I think because it's just so bright and vivid and they see colors and they're attracted to come over to see what it is that we have versus everyone else. And a lot of times we're just a lot more happier looking and outgoing anyway. So that attracts people to our tables. So here's Heather with a table, and look, she has a cute little Tower Garden banner right there. It's made out of tablecloth. The company started making those a few years ago too. And then when people see anything that says free, they run over. So if you print this out right here and put it in like a picture frame, people will come over to try out whatever it is you got. They hear free, they want to try it. So this is a great way to attract people to your table too. And so print that out, and then here's just the little contact information that people can fill out, that you can keep in contact with them and they'll circle what they're interested in. So it's not hard for you. You don't have to like remember every detail of that conversation. You can say, hey, I see that you're interested in weight management or ordering Juice Plus, whatever it is. So this is on Freedom Revolution. Let me stop share, see if you guys have any questions or any comments or any tips on that. Karen, anything I missed? I know Gwen's on a call. Gwen and Karen are probably,
I mean, the only thing I would say is about events themselves. It's really hard to say what's going to be successful. I did an event one time that was 7,000 people, and I think I paid, maybe it was even, I don't even know, $50. Like, it wasn't a lot for that. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is going to be amazing. And you know what? There was literally a line for people to get gummies. And because there was so much of a lot, I hardly got to talk to anybody. It was just like me passing out free gummies the whole time. I went through 2 boxes of like hundreds of dollars of gummies. And I think I left with, out of all those people, like maybe I got 20 names. And I think I got 1 customer. And then I've gone to Museum of Discovery and Science and done, and it can be a really slow day at the museum, but I like events because we bring the gummies. I really like events where there's kids. So it's either like a kids expo, you know, something like that, where it's a family, or maybe, you know, working out like a gym. So if you guys work out at a gym, you know, seeing if you can set up a table there. But I know I've been at Museum of Discovery and Science, and that's where I've actually met Sandy. And she just was there with Sebastian and, you know, and playing, and she came up and, you know, I've done an event where I walked away with 6 people's names and 2 or 3 people order, and I've done 1,000 people and I get no orders. So you just, you know, that's why Michelle was saying, try to keep it low cost, because, and so I tell you what, I would love to find, or to ask you guys that do events, is how do you find events? I seem to have such a network in Florida, and I knew so many people that I had events coming out of my ears. And then I moved here and I don't have people. And then of course, you know, COVID hit and stuff, and it made it really difficult. Events are starting to come back a little bit, but I love for the people who do events, how do you guys find your events?
I think it's, you know, I'm here in South Florida, and so I have a lot of contacts down here too, Karen. And so there's either people reaching out, or I created my own, right? I had the networking event. So I had a holistic networking event that I put together. And so I hosted different vendors, but we were the main vendor. We set up our table at the front. So, you know, sometimes if you're looking for something, you can't find it, you might have to create your own thing to get it. And I like to mention, I realize I'm here with Alicia, and I met Alicia at an event. It was an Earth Day event where I was set up, and she came by the table with her friend, and that's how we met. And now she's on my team. So you never know who you're going to meet, just like how Sharon met Stacy Turner at an event, at a trade show. So you never know who you're going to meet. But over the years, and with the experiences I've had with trade shows, there's certain events I won't do anymore. I'm not doing senior events because seniors are not really that interested in getting healthy at this point. It's not worth it. I just have to say, you might meet one out of the whole group that would be. Like, I think I've had one out of an entire group. But Earth Day, people that are at that type of event already are a bit more conscious, I think, about, you know, the earth, keeping it, you know, and then they're also like giving away trees and all kinds of things. So you really have to keep in mind, what kind of event is this? Like Karen said, when there's events with mommies and kids, as moms, I feel like we want the best for our children. So we're more open to listening. Now, would I have done Juice Plus if I didn't have kids and my son wasn't so sick? I don't know. I might have been like, I'm good, I'm so healthy. You know, it was my kids that really drew me to Juice Plus. So any event with kids, like I know Sharon used to do what are those kids' little gymnasium places? I think she used to do events there. She used to do, actually, I don't know how she did this. I don't know if they do it anymore. Weight Watchers, you name it, she's done it. But if you think about it, she had a good target audience for a lot of those type of events. And that's what you need to think about. Who's your target audience, and will they be interested in Juice Plus or the Tower Garden? And that will make it more worth your time. And I think you'll have even better results. So there's just certain things I say no to nowadays because I know it's not going to be my target audience. But other ones where I'm like, yeah, I would love to do that because I know there's going to be people that are kind of like-minded and probably looking for what I offer. Does anyone have any trade show events they've done that's been like a really good hit, like a location that you're like, wow, that was a good event or trade show to be at?
I'm gonna be honest, that I never do trade shows. I never hardly do anything like that. So I guess it's just good for people to know, especially for new people, you don't have to, or
Yeah.
you can. There's so many options. It's all about making sure you're not spending, too much money on stuff that if it's not giving you a good return. And it's really just about being open to talking to people, and trade shows can be a great way for you to meet people and be able to then take conversations online. But there's a lot of different options. So I don't have much to contribute there because I never, we travel too much. So I hardly ever do trade shows and stuff like that.
But I think
Yeah,
that's great that you mentioned that, because people don't have to. And I think for a while, I had trouble growing my team because I was doing so many that I think that people thought oh my gosh, I got to do a trade show. I have no interest in that. I like it just because I came from a marketing background. Like we used to do events. So I kind of thrive in that situation, but not everybody thrives. You can grow your business just doing social media, right? You can grow your business just through your warm market. So I love that you said that.
Yeah, I agree. So don't feel pressured in any way. If you're like, oh gosh, that seems overwhelming to do that, don't feel like you have to. It's funny, when I first started in the business, Sharon had me do a trade show with her at the gym. And I was like, what? But it was cool to watch. And I do like to talk to people, especially if I have something that can help them. So I always like doing trade shows. But Sharon really threw me in the deep end from the beginning. So it's just been a part of how I've done business. And thanks for the information. I have to jump off. Okay, bye, Renee. But like Jennifer said, there's so many ways to do our business. There's no, one way to talk and communicate and meet people. That's for sure.
I guess I'd like to add on to that. There's a lot of different ways for you to meet people so that you can start relationships. And then we're very systemized with how we talk with people and build those relationships and follow up with people. That's our system, is you're just creating relationships with people, listening for a need, and then offering a possible solution. How you meet everybody, that can look different for everybody. That could look like trade show booths. That could look like being a group fitness instructor. That could look like just being involved in your community. And that just lets you meet people. And once you meet people and you talk with them, then you can hear the need.
Mm-hmm. So good, Jennifer. Yes. So Karen, you were asking, how are people finding events? So I don't know if you get like a weekly paper. Down here, we get like a weekly paper for what's going on in our community, and it will list different events that are happening. And sometimes you'll find like maybe there's a women's group that's having something, or just different organizations that you just don't realize how many different organizations are in your area for different things, that maybe you can reach out and say, hey, would you like for me to have a conversation with your what do you call people that are part of an organization? Oh, yeah. with your community about nutrition. So you can, create that, or you can maybe, I don't know, things are a little bit rocky right now with COVID, but usually we could go into like a school or something and have these conversations, but with everything that's going on, and I'm in South Florida, so people are on high alert, but I don't know if you guys are in areas where things aren't as crazy, where you could possibly say, hey, I would love to have a health talk for your people. I feel like now would be a great time to have health talks with a lot of people, especially corporations that are probably wanting to keep their staff healthier. But it all depends, I guess. Checking out what's going on in your community is one way. Have you joined your Chamber of Commerce, Karen?
Yeah, I joined the Chamber of Commerce for the first year and I was not successful, so I did not rejoin. There was a ladies group within the Chamber of Commerce that actually separated, and it's free to be a part of that. So I'm actually going to an event with them tomorrow night. I haven't really participated a lot with that. And there's a Shackley woman in there who's like on the board, and she seems to have everybody under her thumb with, their vitamins and whatever. So that's a tougher thing, but I go, it's free, like who cares, right? So the Chamber of Commerce, I know like Abby Latendre from years ago, there was a lot of people from years ago that used to, you get up and you say your 30 seconds, but there's so many. What's the one that is, there's one that's every week, Chamber of Commerce.
BNI
group. They are so strict, like you have to go. If you don't go, you have to have somebody replacing you and go in their place. So many of the people were in BNI also, and they already knew a Juice Plus person. So I was like, this, and so it just was, I didn't find it to be great. I will say that you can look on Eventbrite for your area, and I have actually put stuff on there and met people and had people come to my house. I must be insane, right? Complete strangers for like a salad jar party or for like a health thing. It's October.
Yeah.
You can post something about cancer prevention. You know what I mean? And you don't even have to be a doctor or whatever, but like even though every single month seems September is ovarian cancer, I'm sure there's like every single month is a different cancer prevention. You can create your own event. So there could be, somewhere where you could hold that event. I used to just have them at the house, but I've gone on to Eventbrite. Most cities have like a city website with different events coming on, and a lot of places will post on there what's coming up. It used to be that I would be in touch with all the hospitals, and the hospitals, crazy enough, this is several years ago, I used to do like Imperial Points Health Fair and different things. And all of a sudden we were not allowed to participate, Juice Plus, because I think that they felt threatened by Juice Plus. So all of a sudden these hospitals, I used to do Memorial South, I used to do so, and all of a sudden they were like, oh no, sorry, we're not allowed to have supplements, or what, and I was just like, oh my gosh. So yeah.
Oh, wow, cool. Regina said she's met lifelong friends on Eventbrite, and I'm sitting next to Alicia, and she also mentioned the Nextdoor app. I'm on that for my community too, and you can actually create an event on Nextdoor. I just did that the other day. I didn't know you could do it. So that's definitely a way to meet people, because I see the same people posting and commenting on my Nextdoor on the notifications that I get, and whatever the conversation. So that is a way to, you could even probably ask, does anyone here know if there's like a health fair or where they need vendors? Because everyone participates on that app. There's a lot of conversation that happens. Yay, Gwen is back. So Gwen, tell us how the trade show you did in August, the big one that you do with, oh no.
I'm back.
That you do with, my gosh, why can't I remember?
Gloria.
I was thinking G. How was that? And I'm gonna go get my charger while you share.
Okay. All right, so we had the county fair in August is what we had in our area. So it's a huge event. And thankfully it went off this year because last year we didn't have the county fair, right? Everything was closed up. So we've been in it for at least 13 years, maybe 12. I've been taking Juice Plus now for 14 years. It'll be 14 years in November. And they've been in it since Gloria started, which was in July 14 years ago. So they've been there a long time and it was packed. Everybody in the area wanted to be out and we had a new location in the fair. So we were in a better spot and we were across from a health club group locally, a local health club here. And so it worked out great. They would be over there pedaling away, making a lot of cold air coming our way. And then people would go over there to work out and then they would come over and learn about fruits and vegetables. So it worked out really well. And we all hand out or keep track of people's requests. We have a form when we're talking to the people and we ask them what they're interested in. So we get their name, their phone number, we get all their contact information. And then we'll have flyers that we can hand out and invite them to all of our local events that we have coming up. And we even invited them to the doctor that came a couple weeks ago. So we had flyers and the event planned and everything. Gloria is on it. When we go to the fair, yeah, she has everything scheduled so that we can invite to another event because this is our only chance to get them to come to another event. So we always have flyers on hand. We always have something to get them to within a week, usually after the big event. So we always have something. And like even we had Dr. Phillips here 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. And we already had another event that's next Sunday or Saturday, this coming Saturday, we're having a coffee shop event. So she'll bring her tower garden to the coffee shop and we'll have, that's the magnet. So anybody that's coming in to buy will be curious about the tower garden. And then we invite anybody, prospects and customers to come and have coffee with us. And that's how I signed up to be a Juice Plus rep. I was invited to a coffee shop talk as a customer 7 years ago. And that's when I signed up. First time I ever met Stacy.
You brought up a really good point and I forgot to mention this. I'm so glad you just shared all of that. Having a next step for whoever you're meeting. So Sharon used to always say, hey, we're going to create an event. And now it's easy to create an event. You could just say, oh, I'm going to have a virtual event a few days after you meet or have this trade show, right? That you can invite them onto to get the full information. Yep. And not just about Juice Plus, but also the business. Sometimes there's that interest there too. So having that and then having a flyer of it on the table is like another, oh, I can invite you to this, leave your information and I can invite you to this event, upcoming event we're having. It's always giving a next step. So that was so good, Gwen. So how many people usually attend that fair? Because it sounds like it's a huge event. 20,000?
Well, it's the biggest county in the state and I really don't know. Thousands? Mm. It's big. It's one of the biggest events in the state. And the way it worked out this year, our fair, we were able to attend unmasked and without a vaccine passport. If you want to go to the state fair, you have to be vaccinated and you had to have masks and everything. So that happened 2 weeks after ours. So ours was packed. Now, I don't know if something happened. I didn't hear like we had a big outbreak or anything like that. I think the governor just decided to put more mandates back in place in New Mexico because that's where we are. So, but it was packed. And I think everybody just wanted to be out and about and it was great to see. It was actually a bigger fair than we've had in a couple of years. So I think there was something to just the fact that people wanted to be out and they were very interested in fruits and vegetables. They were very, very interested.
I will say, guys, if you could do your trade show with a buddy or two, it helps because you'll have that third party validation with you. You'll have that camaraderie and people will see that, like how you're like having fun working together, like doing this together. It makes a difference in doing it by yourself. So Thank
And
God I'm able to.
it's great for new people. Don't think that if you're new that you can't do a trade show. Go with a buddy that's done these before and watch them work it. And then you learn how to work it. I went to so many of these fairs and just sat in the back. And I watched Gloria and Cindy and Linda and the ladies do it and all the different verbiage. And that is where you learn it. You have to go and just immerse yourself in it. And don't be scared. It's a great place to meet people. Even if you don't get anything, it's contacts. Contact.
Yeah, my first trade show, I think, was, I don't know if I had already signed up or not. I think it was right after I signed up, and people were asking me things and I was like, I don't know, but let me get back to you. It really forces you to learn a lot, which was good because it upped my ammunition really fast. I learned a lot of things that I just never thought to think about because, different people have different health issues, concerns, all of that. So it makes you learn a lot, and you can kind of stand back and listen to whoever you're with when you're doing it together. So if you have the luxury of doing it with a buddy, even if it's a sideline, do it, because working together is even more of an impact, I feel.
You guys do like raffles at all? Because it's been a while since I've done one, but I had like a raffle for like either a goodie bag of like a bunch of the products or a bag of complete or something like that. And then on that raffle sheet, it also asks them questions like, I'd like to learn more about whatever. I'd like to be on your email list. Do you guys do that or no?
I have done, I've actually done events where they required us to do it. It's a corporate event and they said, oh, could you bring something to be part of the raffle at the core? So it's really good. No, I love that you brought that up, Janie, because people love, just like they love to see something for free, they love to be a part of a raffle and hope to win. So it attracts people to your table and it makes them even more less hesitant to sign up on that paper and leave their information, because you have to contact them if they win, right? So that's a really good point, Janie. And the last event we just did, the networking one, I was asking for feedback from all the vendors. And they said, oh, you should consider doing a raffle because, and I was like, oh yes, you're right, I should. So great tip.
I just did that as my own individual booth. Yeah, the event I was at didn't have like a big raffle, but yeah, that would be a good idea too, to kind of have everybody's things donated in there for one giant raffle. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So
And listen,
I feel like I'm always the negative Nelly, but I will give you a negative side of that. I do raffles when the corporate ones, like Michelle is talking about, when they, say you must bring a raffle item. And I don't honestly put a lot into it because I have so very rarely ever heard from that person, right? Because it's Michelle Fletcher, like she's winning off here in the corporate thing, and I have no idea who won. And unless they're really interested, they're not calling me. As far as doing my own raffle, the only thing that if you're really good at following up, you have no issue following up, you can't wait to follow up, you're going to get a lot more people that sign up because they want to win something free. And a lot of them are not going to be interested in Juice Plus, you know what I mean? So that's just a lot of time. So you just have to be prepared for that if you want to do it. You're going to get a lot more names, but what I have found is that a lot of people are signing up just for the raffle and they really had no interest in learning about Juice Plus. So yeah, so I don't do it personally.
yeah, I mean, you're right. You have both sides, right?
Yeah.
Where you'll have people that, like when I've participated in doing the raffle, I've had people that were solidly at my table, super interested, and then they saw the sign that there's a raffle, so then they filled that out. But then I had people that just walked by and saw a raffle and put their name in. So it's,
Yeah. And you might be able to gauge, like if somebody's coming by and they're just, and I never give up on anybody, even if somebody kind of walked by and they were like, oh, and they signed up, I always contact them. And, I've done these ones where, on Lunch and Learn, like, they usually have me speaking about, oh, how do you get so many customers? And the follow-up. So the people on those sheets of paper that Michelle was showing, that's where you're writing the notes. Like, ooh, Michelle Fletcher, fitness fanatic, has 2 kids, son always sick. Like, you just make it really short and something you can remember. But they, oh, I forgot what I was getting ready to say. My mind just went blank, see? I need some omegas.
Oh, that's okay, Karen. But yeah, taking those notes on the back of those little contact sheets is pivotal when you are following up, because you'll meet some people that they just have a lot in common, and you're like, wait, is that person or this person? And the faces start to like, I don't know, if you're at an event, I've gone to events where I've gotten like 30 contacts, right? So it's like, how in the world am I going to remember each individual person? I'll probably remember like 50% of them because something stood out to me, but the other ones I might not remember. So making sure you take those notes on the back, I think, is pivotal. If you want to, pick up as if you are still in conversation with them from when they were at the table. But we are at 101 already, and this was a really good conversation. I don't know if we motivated anyone who has been hesitant to do a trade show to now do one, look into one. Maybe you'll now see a sign pop up that someone's looking for some vendors. Someone just sent me, there's a vendor situation happening this weekend in Fort Lauderdale. I'm going to look into that. Thank you, Deidre, to see what that's about. It looks like it's for the family too, which is really good. But even I've done events at a lot of races. Now, that's another thing. Racing is coming, like people are racing again, 5Ks, half marathons. A lot of times they are looking for vendors, and that can be a really good place, because guess what? Those people are health-minded, right? A lot of times they're not nutritionally health-minded. They're all about the fitness, but some of them are both. So I feel like that's a good target audience. I've done cancer walks where we have the cancer study, which is huge. If you could get into something like that, it is Breast Cancer Month, right? So, and then we're going into the holidays, where I feel like there will be a lot more events popping up. I see people are doing pop-up shops for just, unique gifts that people will want to purchase for the holidays. So keep your ears open, in tune, and hopefully this Lunch and Learn helped you today. So thank you, guys. Let me
Is there
stop the
anybody
recording.
else on here that has not signed up for Crock-Pot? We still need some people. I'm like,